Hi, everybody. A big warm welcome to our event. I see a lot of Me fans here, our media colleagues, many of our partners. So thank you so much, especially to our media colleagues. I know these are busy days for you. You guys attended 2 launch events yesterday and then 1 today. And I've been told that you have few more events, maybe this week, next week. So hope you guys get some rest on this weekend. So today we are here, pretty excited to launch a new product and something that we are truly passionate about. I'll skip this one. We're using these 3 hashtags. The name of the product, ME3, 48 MP Android One, and 32 MP Smart Selfie. So if you guys are tweeting, if you're posting on social media, we would really appreciate if you can use these 3 hashtags. So let me start by giving you a quick update about Xiaomi, and then we'll do a much deeper deep dive on the product that we're launching today. So last time when we met during K20 Pro, we said IDC has said that we are number 1 for 7 quarters. The report for 8th quarter was still not out at that point of time. So happy to share the latest IDC report is out, and now we have been number 1 for 8 consecutive quarters. Thank you. 8 quarters, this means we've been number 1 for 2 years. A brand which has been there in India only for 5 years, out of those 2 years, 40% of the time, we have been the largest and the most loved technology brand here in the country. So I really want to thank all of you guys. Now, during these 8 quarters or 2 years, we have had around 28-30% market share, depending upon which report you look at. Now, as per IDC, in the latest quarter, we had about 28% market share, versus 25% from Samsung, 15% of Vivo, and about 9.5% of Oppo. And not just IDC, but even if you look at many of the reports, whether it is Counterpoint, Canalys, CMR, each of these say that we are the largest brand with around 30% market share. Now, one of the big things which has helped us is our expansion in offline. But while we are doing this, we're also not letting go of our focus on online. If you look at the online share, we have been now the largest online brand for 11 consecutive quarters. 11 quarters. And not just this, we have close to 50% market share. And if you combine the market share of number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5 brands, all of them combined have 36% market share, and Xiaomi itself has more than 46% market share. Now, while we've been focusing on expanding in online, expanding in offline, launching new products, a big focus area has also been on quality on after-sale service. And we've been rated as the best quality brand in India and also the best after-sale service brand in India. Last time when we met, I shared that we have 2,000 service centers. 2,000 service centers across the country. And we're probably the biggest service network that any brand has in India. But we are focusing not only on opening new service centers, we are also focusing on quality of service. And happy to share that we have become the only smartphone brand in the country to have ISO 9001 and 14001 certificates for all our service centers. This was issued by Quality Austria, and this ISO 9001 certificates are given when you showcase that all your processes that you follow in these service centers are really top-notch. And you're almost 100% of the times, most of the times, you're adhering to these system and processes, right? So a lot of focus, a lot of energy in such kind of areas. I also spoke about offline, that how offline has helped us a lot. We started this journey only 2 years ago, and how we have grown from almost 0 to about 21% market share within offline. Now, we just announced this new thing about 2 weeks ago that we have opened 2,000 Mi stores. If you remember, these Mi stores are exclusive Xiaomi stores, mainly meant for rural areas. These are not even tier 2, tier 3 towns. These are tier 5, tier 6 towns, or villages or taluka headquarters, those kind of places where we have these 2,000 exclusive Xiaomi stores. We started opening the first store in October last year, and just 9 months, we've opened 2,000 stores. So this was a 2,000 store opened at Tumkur near Bangalore. Our team opening these stores. Now, the product that we are launching today, the first product in this series was launched Do you remember the year when the first product was launched? 2017. This was 2017 when the first time we co-launched a product along with Google here in India, which was called as Mi A1, and it was a super successful product. And it followed with Mi A2 and now Mi A3. So today we are launching Mi A3, and to talk more about this, I'll call on stage somebody whom I call as Mr. George Clooney of Xiaomi India, Mr. Raghu Reddy.
Thank you, Manu. Hello, everyone. My name is Raghu Reddy, and I head all categories at Xiaomi India. Very excited to be here today to talk about the next step in this amazing partnership with Google, which is for the Android One. So like you guys correctly guessed, we started our Android One journey in 2017. That's the first time when Xiaomi and Google came together with amazing hardware and innovative software to offer you the Mi A series. So we've launched 2 devices till date. We launched the Mi A1 in September of 2017, and then we launched the Mi A2 in 2018. Both of these devices were widely accepted by customers across the globe, making the Mi A series the best-selling Android One series till date. So Mi A1 was launched, like I said, in September of 2017, and in about 4 months that year, we outsold everyone, all the other Android One phones in the market by a big factor. And that helped, I think, a lot of other brands also, get onto the brand wagon for the onto the brand wagon of Android One. So in 2018, with a lot of other brands also offering Android One devices, the Mi A2 series was still one of the better loved devices out there. It was the most preferred Android One device for customers across the entire globe. So we know that these devices were widely accepted, but what exactly within these devices was something that the customers loved. So we took a look at some of the customer testimonials. So if you look at it, Ashish Bell, he bought the first generation Mi A1, and he thought that the optical zoom that he got thanks to the telephoto lens on that particular device was something that he had not seen in the 20,000 rupee price segment, and he was very, very happy with that particular device. Anil Kumar Yadav was very happy with the stock Android experience. He thought that it made his device very fluid and snappy, and he was also happy with the regular updates that he got on that particular device. Josh from Spain thought that the Mi A2 was the perfect match, the best hardware and software finally coming together. So that's what the customers loved about the Mi A series. Not just the customers, but even the media colleagues loved this partnership of Xiaomi and Google coming together. Economic Times, for example, spoke about the Mi A2 as a spectacular camera which takes great low light shots. India Today, for example, called out Mi A2 as something, Mi A2 excels very well at the portrait shots. And finally, Digit spoke about an all-round experience, not just the camera, but an all-round experience which is topped off by a pure Android experience. So with this, you get a great idea of what the Mi A series has always stood for. I think when we started designing the Mi A series, I think our focus was to get the best possible camera phone out there into the market. And we're glad that the cameras on the Mi A series have been appreciated very well. And of course, everyone loved the Android One experience with its regular updates as well. While the feedback has been largely positive, obviously you'll always have a cross-section of customers who will need something more on the devices. And we're trying to take that feedback and hopefully try to work on that entire piece. So for example, Dhruv, who used the Mi A2, said that the 3000 mAh battery was a tad bit lower. He would have been happier if the battery life on the Mi A2 was a little bit better. Abhijit bought the Mi A2 for his sister, and she said she liked everything about the device, but the only thing missing was the 3.5mm jack on the Mi A2 device. Mohammad Dilshad didn't like the fact that there's no expandable storage on Mi A2. And finally, Neeraj said this device is very smooth. He's talking about the Mi A2. It had the aluminum unibody design. The device is very smooth, but he said something is missing and it's probably not as trendy. So this is the feedback that we got from some of the customers, and obviously we went around, seeking feedback from many more customers and looking at, what customer reviews across the life cycle of these devices were talking about. So we've taken all of this into account. We've noticed, what is it that people love about the devices. We figured out what people didn't like, and we've tried to create Mi A3 that not just enhances what we had on the Mi A1 and Mi A2, but also addresses some of the points that have been raised by customers. So that's Mi A3, created by Xiaomi with innovations from Google. Let me dive right into the Mi A3. So the Mi A3 stands for three things. It stands for amazing design, it stands for amazing camera, and it stands for amazing experience. So let me go deeper into each of these elements. So with amazing design, one of the feedbacks that we got on the Mi A2, people said devices are not trendy enough. So we went back to the drawing board and we wanted to create something we believe is actually a visual spectacle that you cannot miss. So instead of me trying to talk through this entire bit, let me just show you how the Mi A3, the first color of the Mi A3 looks like. So as you can see, this blue features helix wave pattern on the back of the device, which bounces around the overall back depending on where you're looking it from and where the light is coming from. We believe it's a very different kind of a design, very trippy, but how did we achieve this design? It's done through a 7-layer process, but of course, only 4 layers out of that 7-layer is where this magic happens. And that's why we're calling this device not just blue. So that's the first color. The second color that we have is the white. Some of you might be wondering if it's actually white. Yeah, this is actually white, but it's nothing like what you've seen earlier in the market. It is super premium, and I would urge each one of you to check out this device at the Zemo Zone right after the launch event, and you will appreciate what I'm telling you over here. So this white has a beautiful play of light, resulting in a holographic effect, which is why we're calling this color more than white. So that's the second color. And then finally, for those of you who like a contemporary design but who would want to still keep it simple, you have kind of gray. So with this new approach to design, we hope that we are able to meet customer expectations from us on how the design should look like. The Mi A3 doesn't just look good; it's also built to last. It's built with Corning Gorilla Glass 5 on the back, and not just that. It's actually the first device in the world with triple Corning Gorilla Glass 5 protection. What do you mean by triple Gorilla Glass 5 protection? It means there's protection on the back, on the front, and even on the camera module. I know a lot of people might say that the camera module juts out, but that's obviously because you're using a bigger sensor. But for that, you need protection, and we understand that a lot of customers are very careful about how you place the camera, but you don't need to be too worried about it because you also get protection from Corning Gorilla Glass 5 on the camera module. So ultimate durability, that's the aim. The next thing that I want to talk about is the overall design. When we were talking about rebooting the design for this particular device, we weren't just talking about giving this device a new look. We also wanted to figure out how do you make it better ergonomically, right? And so if you look at it, the Mi A2 itself was about 75 mm wide, and we believe a lot of other devices that have been launched in last year and even this year continue to operate at that kind of width. And this width actually makes it difficult for people to use the phone with one hand. And we thought that, if you're using a phone, I think a lot of people feel the need for a one-handed phone as well. So with the Mi A3, we've reduced the width to about 72 mm, which is about 3.5 mm narrower than what you found on the Mi A2. And this 3.5 mm corresponds to about 5% reduction in width, which we believe makes for a big difference in the holdability of the device. So that's the Mi A3, which is 5% narrower, and this makes it great for a single hand usage. So not just that, we also borrowed a bunch of design cues from our flagship Mi series. The biggest one that we've taken up is the 3D curved glass. It's always been difficult to make and hence expensive, and hence has been limited to largely flagship phones. But with the Mi A3, we've been able to bring this 3D curved glass into the sub 20,000 rupee price segment. But of course, there is a reason for this. The narrower frame, along with the 3D curved glass, gives you an exceptional hand feel, and makes it easier for you to use it with just one hand. So that was about the back and the design. So you got three colors out here, more than white, not just blue, kind of gray. We believe this is probably the first series or the only series that not just features three different colors, but also three different patterns for each of the colors out here. I'd like to take a pause over here and just take a quick poll on which color do people over here in this forum really like. How many of you for white? A quick show of hands. Oh wow, that's a good 60%. Wow, and how many of you for blue? Okay, still a respectable 20-30%. And how many of you for gray? Okay, that seems about very, very little. We hope that this reflects the preferences of the larger population as well, and we'll hopefully put that into our procurement planning as well. Of course, we're also very excited about white, which is why I would really again urge you to go check out the white outside. We've spoken about the back. Let's get to the front. So the Mi A3 features a 6.08-inch HD Plus dot-notch display. But for the first time ever, the Mi A3 gets a big upgrade in the form of a Super AMOLED display. A lot of you might know what it means. For those of you who don't, Super AMOLED means vibrant colors, better contrast levels, deeper blacks, and in general, great viewing angles. So that's the big upgrade on the Mi A3. So the 6.08-inch display along with the AMOLED panel means that you get a vibrant viewing experience on the Mi A3. So with the AMOLED screen, we were also able to add in a 7th generation in-screen fingerprint sensor into this particular device. What this entails is you have a camera with a large 7.2 micron pixel size underneath the display and with a large fingerprint detection area for accurate and reliable unlocking. So that's the design. To summarize, what makes the design really amazing? It comes with a 6.08-inch Super AMOLED display. It's a delight to use thanks to the 3D curved glass, dynamic holographic design, and a narrower frame that gives you a great one-hand usage. And finally, it's built to last with triple Corning Gorilla Glass 5 protection. So that was about the design. Let me now get to the second pillar of the Mi A3, which is the amazing camera. The Mi A series, like you guys know, has always stood for a great camera experience. The Mi A1 was the first device that carried a dual camera setup with a 12 megapixel telephoto lens, which was unheard of in the price segment under 20,000. The Mi A2 continued that trend. It came with a dual camera setup of 12 megapixel plus 20 megapixel, of which the 20 megapixel sensor was a dedicated night lens for better night shots, which again was a rarity in the sub 20,000 rupee segment. With the Mi A3, we are taking it a step further. We have a triple camera setup on the Mi A3. So the Mi A3 features 48 megapixel Sony IMX586 flagship sensor as the primary camera. It features an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle lens with a 118-degree field of view. And finally, you have the 2 megapixel depth sensor for amazing portraits. So let's get into each of these cameras. The primary camera, like I said, is the Sony IMX586. We've been speaking about it for a long time now. We've been working with this for a fairly long time, more than 6 months now, and we've taken in a ton of feedback from customers about how the images are coming out, and we've been able to use all of that feedback to actually fine-tune the algorithms even more to give you a shot that all of you would just love. So let's just take a look. So this is a shot. I think we've spoken a lot about how good these images are, but I think where the power of 48 megapixel comes in is the amount of details it's able to capture. So if you were to zoom in, you'll realize that it's not just one person who's actually parasailing, but it's actually two people, and you even get to see what's written on the parasail. So for those of you who crave details, this is the sensor that gives you the best details out there in the market. There's one more shot. It's a nice summary shot, but do you notice anything peculiar about this particular image? Okay, you zoom in and you see 48 MP. That's the power of 48 megapixel. Just kidding. Yeah, so that's the power of the 48 megapixel sensor. With the largest sensor being in use, you also get a dedicated night mode thanks to the 1.6 microns 4-in-1 super pixel. And if you were to look at the images, it doesn't just capture great details in the highlight section, but you also get a lot of detail without any grains coming in the shadow.